I do not like Khabib. Khabib does not interest me. If I got to choose, then I would say Justin Gaethje wins this fight. But I don't see Justin Gaethje winning this fight. I see Khabib winning by submission. But let me explain why I don't like Khabib. Now, this isn't I dislike Khabib on a personal level. No, I just don't like his fights. I've never met the guy. I know very little about him personally. So this is nothing about him on a personal level, only on his fighting. Okay? Because I don't want you guys getting the wrong impression. The reason I do not like Khabib fighting is it's like a box of Legos. Khabib, you know what you're gonna get. He's a submission specialist, so you know what you're gonna get. He's gonna submission someone. You know what you're gonna get. It's like buying a preset box of Legos. You know what you're gonna build, and you build it. Done. It's not that interesting. After it's done, you might get some enjoyment out of it, but afterwards, you won't get any enjoyment out of it. That's why I want Justin Gaethje to win. Because Justin Gaethje is what I see as a box of Legos. Not preset, just a box of Legos. And if you've ever built Legos, you would also know a box of Legos are much better than a preset box of Legos. Because the not preset box, just a box of Legos with thousands of pieces from other pieces of Lego put into one, that one can be built into anything. It's like with those Legos you can make submission, you can make knockout, you can make stoppage, you can make any type of fight. But Khabib, you're only gonna get one format of Legos. Only one. And you'll never get the other types of Legos. Never. It's almost impossible. It is possible, but it's almost impossible. I do not want the lightweight division to just be Khabib submissioning everyone in the ring with him. I don't want that. So, Justin Gaethje, if Justin Gaethje wins, it will be a breath of fresh air. It will be, oh, we can get knockouts now, we can get this and that and this and that and this and that. It becomes much, much, much more interesting. It's like Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, to me, has started becoming boring. A lot like Anthony Joshua. They win almost all of their fights. So you know the outcome. They're going to enter the ring and they're going to win. It becomes boring. Like, oh, why even watch this fight? This person's already going to win. What's the... Like, what's the reason to watch if you already know the outcome? That's what makes Tyson Fury interesting, because he's now entering WWE, he's entering all of these different sports, he's talking about entering MMA. He has 3 more boxing fights on his record. After those fights, he said, UFC heavyweights, watch out. That excites me to a level I haven't been excited in a while. Khabib does not excite me like that. It's like Conor McGregor. We all wanted Conor McGregor to win because Conor McGregor is interesting. Just like Justin Gaethje, you can get anything. Anything. Just anything. You can get submission, knockout, stoppage, anything. But Khabib, it is just one note. I'm almost completely sure Khabib's gonna win. But I really don't want him to. Because he's almost ruining lightweight for me. The whole lightweight division is slowly becoming boring. Because before Khabib became the champion, you would have people like Conor McGregor fighting for the title, and it was interesting because anything could happen. That's why I've started moving on to other weight divisions, because lightweight has become boring. Lightweight has become extremely boring, because middleweight is extremely interesting now. I'm almost not watching this fight for the main fight, and mostly watching it for the second fight, which, if you don't know, is Jared Cannonier versus Robert Whittaker. I'm mostly watching this fight card just for that fight, because whoever wins that fight then fights Israel Adesanya for title. That's interesting, because all of those three fighters have very different styles. Robert Whittaker, I haven't watched many of his fights, but to me, he looks like a powerhouse. Now, I could be absolutely incorrect about that, because I haven't watched pretty much any of his fights. I haven't watched any of Jared, sorry, I'm having difficulty with his surname here, but, you know, I haven't watched any of his fights. Israel Adesanya, he's a style bender. He's done every single style of fighting. He is interesting. Middleweight right now is white hot. It is burning hot. I am so interested about this weight class right now that every single other weight class is nothing compared. Lightweight used to be my favourite weight class, but then Khabib became the champion. Now, Khabib has actually said he wants to knock out Justin Gaethje in this fight. If he goes for that, this fight will be maybe the best fight of the year, in my eyes. Because if Khabib tries a new type of style, that will be extremely interesting to see. And I will 100% be up for that. I don't care about, oh, I can submission people, oh, I can submission people. It's not interesting. It doesn't interest me, because, yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm up for one or two fights with that. I'm up for one or two submission fights. Even one or two knockout fights. To me, knockouts are more interesting than submissions. But I'm pretty sure everyone feels that way. Submissions can only stay interesting for a amount of fights. I would say 3 fights. That's how many fights it takes until submission becomes boring. Knockouts, I would say probably 5. You gotta change up your style at some point, because if you just get in the ring and beat everyone a certain way, a certain time, a certain this and that, it becomes boring, because everyone knows how your fight's gonna happen. It becomes predictable, and that's the one reason people watch fights. It's because it's the least predictable sport. If it starts to become predictable, that is not the reason the sport became a thing. Fighting is one of the most famous sports because it's the least predictable. So that's why we want to watch it. Don't make it predictable, because it ruins the sport. If I gave you Israel Adesanya or Khabib, which person would you rather be the champion of lightweight? I would say Israel Adesanya every single time, because you get a lot out of Israel Adesanya. He is a style bender. He knows every single style of fighting. Khabib, he only knows one way. I know I'm going very heavy with the subject, but it becomes extremely boring, and I feel like other people are also starting to see this, because it's the same thing. If you keep on giving me Khabib fights, it's gonna start getting boring. If you gave me Conor McGregor versus Khabib 2, if you gave me that, the second one, I don't think I would be interested. honestly, because I already know what the outcome's going to be. Khabib is going to submission him, I don't know, second round. That's going to be it. It's just going to be that. Because submission is one of the strongest ways to stop someone in UFC. Knockout, it takes around 3 rounds to knock out someone, I would say. Or maybe you land a lucky punch, then yeah, maybe 1 round. Well done. But submission normally takes around about 2 rounds, around about 1 round. You just grab the guy, you submission him. That's it. Even 1 rounds become boring. Finishing someone in the first round, like knocking out someone in the first round, well done, you got a lucky punch, well done. That's why Jorge Masvidal versus Ben Askren was so interesting, because it was a lucky punch. It was a punch you wouldn't expect, a lucky flying knee, what you wouldn't expect. It happened, knockout, done. But submission, there's nothing special about it. It's just, I'm gonna grab you, I'm gonna submission you, okay. Now don't get me wrong, I have signed up to start training in judo. I like submissions. Submissions are interesting, but it's, imagine buying a ticket, getting all ready, fucking buying your popcorn, getting all ready, you're all excited, and then boom, it's over. You've just wasted like 4 days of your life devoted to something, and it's over in about 1 minute. What's, who cares? It's nothing. But a knockout, it's some spice. It changes the fucking flavor. Jorge Masvidal, if I saw that live, I would have shat my pants and then went, oh, I've just wasted like 5 hours on this. 5 days, sorry. Oh, that's a bit shitty. Like, even Jorge Masvidal's fucking knockout would have been disappointing. But, do you get what I mean? I feel like I'm not putting my point across. A knockout takes 3 rounds. In 3 rounds, I think you get your money's worth. 3 rounds is enough rounds to say, yep, I got my money's worth. 1 round isn't. So if Khabib keeps on submissioning people in the first round, 1, it's boring. 1, fucking hell, forgot how to count. 1, it's boring. 2, it's a waste of my time. 3, I already know what's gonna happen. 4, it's just a submission. Who the fuck cares? Don't get me wrong, I prefer MMA over boxing. But if it's a submission every single time, it's not interesting. Just like if it was a knockout every single time. Yes, it's easier to make a knockout interesting, but if it's a knockout every single time, it's gonna get boring. I'm excited, but at the same time not excited for this fight, because I think it's just gonna be 2 people on the floor dancing for like an hour, and then all of my money would have been wasted on watching this fight and waiting like 25 days for this fight. All of that time would have been wasted. But yeah, happy Halloween, everyone. I hope all of you guys enjoy this fight. I'm excited for it, but I feel like it's going to be a letdown. This entire episode is devoted to Khabib, because I think, can we just think about Khabib and think, what's happening with him? Where are we going? I'm not interested in Khabib's fights anymore. when he was fighting Conor, I was excited because, oh, a new guy poses a threat. But after Conor, I feel like Khabib's career, even though he's been getting all of these titles, even though all of this, I feel like his legacy is going to be short-lived. Conor, he's won 2 belts. He's knocked out the biggest foes. He's done this, that, this, that, this, that. Khabib, he won 1 belt and he submissioned some people. His fights aren't interesting, so in the history books he won't be going down. In the history books, he'll just be a guy who is good at submissioning people. In my mind, to go down in the history book, sorry, you have to be good at every single field of MMA. Khabib isn't. He's good in one field and one field only. The most boring field. Khabib's not going to have a long legacy if he just continues this. At some point, someone's going to turn around to Khabib and say, your fights are becoming boring, make the next fight interesting, or we're going to cut you from the UFC. I feel like that's honestly going to happen. People are going to stop watching his fights because he's becoming boring. Honestly, I think that's the future of Khabib, and I really, really hope Khabib sticks to his word and does actually try to knock out Justin Gaethje, because that will be interesting. That will be a change of pace. I know Khabib's father said never try to knock out someone. You're good at submission, so keep to that. I know Khabib's father said that, but I think you try to knock him out. Even though Khabib might lose, it's gonna be fucking interesting to see Khabib try to knock out Justin Gaethje. That's gonna be interesting as fuck. Happy Halloween, everyone, and goodbye.